Alexandra, checking with the weather, and what are you seeing?
All right, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is for, you can see the yellow box here along the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. So this is from around the Lacombe area, including parts of Slidell, and really including also around Mandeville, and then off to the northeast. Tallahassee, Picayune, places like this around Slidell, north of Slidell along Highway 11 here toward Picayune and other spots, including Sun. This is a big cell, lots of very heavy rain, ton of lightning as well, but also the potential for some high wind gusts and also some hail. So all of these things, especially right around Lacombe, around this part. Of course, if you're joining us from Lacombe, you know the rain is coming down extremely heavy right now. Here it is right over Lacombe, edging toward other places around Slidell, but actually some of the heaviest you can see might potentially stay just a little bit west of Slidell. We do have this whole part of the cell, though, that's also going to be lifting to the northeast. So Slidell is going to be getting some heavy rain, especially the western edge, but really more so at the moment, it's Lacombe. This is a cell that's been moving pretty fast, around 50 or so miles per hour to the northeast. The warned area, you can see in the yellow box again, that warning goes until 6 p.m. So we're waiting for quite a while for this cell to move off to the northeast with its potential for high wind gusts. Of course, the huge amount of lightning. Let me sample that really quickly for you. Lots and lots of lightning is going to be moving in, about 500 strikes over the past few minutes with just that one part of the line. Extending farther south, I want to show you what's going on because we're seeing it arrive just now almost into New Orleans. In fact, it is reaching parts of the city. Right over Metairie now, there is some very heavy rain, and other locations along the West Bank are about to see this line roll in, although actually the heaviest core of this, or heaviest spot in this thunderstorm, is right over Metairie and the southern edge of the causeway at this point. That's some really heavy rain. I've been looking and using our radar tools to see just how heavy, and this, for example, that one part that I sampled shows 8 inches per hour. So a really heavy rain. Like Whitney was saying, sometimes you have to get out, but oh my goodness, this is really heavy. If you can wait a little bit, that would be really good. The line has slowed down a little bit, but it is now moving into some of our spots in New Orleans as well, especially closer to the lake. We've seen showers starting to spread over, and we did have just a little while ago some lighter rain. But now we're leading up to the actual line itself, which has gotten, it looks like, thinner and thinner as that really big cell moved out over the lake, the one that's now moving into St. Tammany. We're seeing the line, what's left of it on the southern edge, moving into, well, right over Metairie and into New Orleans soon. That's gotten a little bit smaller overall. Looks like we do have, by the way, a new flood advisory until 8:30 this evening, and this is going to include spots like parts of Jefferson Parish, Orleans, Plaquemine, St. Bernard, and St. Charles. Let me pull up our warnings here so you can see where that is included. Let's see. We had the graphic that was showing that. Let's see, not with our rotation, but I'll get it pulled up for you in a second. But basically just where you see that really heavy rain is where that advisory is. And this is those low-lying spots that you can think of. You know about them around your neighborhood or on your routes that tend to fill up with water. This is some heavy rain, and it's a little unusual actually to get one of these heavy rain flooding advisories for New Orleans this time of year. It can happen, of course, with big spring storm systems like this, but the more common time for that is during the summer, where our moisture is just through the roof in the atmosphere. It's very high. All these little thunderstorms that pop up in the summer are able to tap into that and just drench a specific location. But with a sort of fast moving line like this, you don't really see that potential as much, except that it has slowed down a bit, and there is some really heavy rain here. So some of those flood prone areas that you know about, great idea to avoid those through the next maybe 2 or 3 hours, because even after the rain ends, there could still be some water standing in certain locations. That is our South Shore spot, and we've been saying it's kind of interesting. Right around 5 p.m. we're expecting it for New Orleans, and it is showing up, but you might be in another part of the city, and the northern and western part is starting to see the rain, but you might still be waiting on it actually in much of Uptown, in the French Quarter, over toward Marigny and into St. Bernard, and actually a huge part of the West Bank. Still waiting for this line. So it's kind of gotten hung up a little bit, but at least it doesn't look like too much once it does move in and out that we will have to deal with. But this is the line of significant weather that we're seeing move in as we speak. Of course, the other spot, again, that I just wanted to highlight that I was pointing out earlier is this location around Lacombe, this part of St. Tammany Parish. Now including Slidell, the heaviest is just to the west of Slidell, but even other parts in the city will probably get in on this heavy part on the southern edge of what has prompted the warning, and that will be moving in probably within the next 10 or so minutes. So some really, really heavy rain and also some high wind gust potential, and that will be moving again towards Slidell and then eventually toward other spots like Picayune as we get into the next maybe half hour or so. So line is moving in, it will be moving out. We're still expecting it to be finished by about 7, 8 o'clock. This should be mostly out of here, but certainly a really active scene at this point. No tornado warnings, but just that one severe thunderstorm warning, as well as a flood advisory for the New Orleans metro area itself.
All right, Alexandra, thank you so much.